Inside Hilltopper Athletics is brought to you by Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
All right, welcome to Inside Hilltopper Athletics Baseball Edition. I'm Jacob Davey, joined by head coach Eric Burkle. Coach, coming off a split, 2-2 against Malone out in Mason, Ohio. Just start with overall thoughts on the week, or Thursday, Friday, weekend type thing.
Splits are okay. I mean, I thought we hit the ball better than splitting. Our problem with Malone is defending them. You know, if we put the Gingrich kid on first, it's a double. So we've struggled to hold runners and throw runners out, which is the focus of practice this week. Catchers are going to get better. Pitchers are going to get quicker to the plate. So that's, you know, we out-hit them in all 4 games. Mm-hmm. So only having 2 wins to show for it was a little disappointing. But, you know, our record against Malone, that has now improved. So
Right, yeah, getting into the past series history, they've won 8 or 10 in a row, and what was the mindset coming in?
Every year, it's time for us to beat Malone.
Yeah.
And then usually at the beginning of the year, whether they're more prepared than we are or what it is, but they've always taken advantage of that. And then this year, I think we kind of caught up to them. Offensively, I think, you know, I know we outslugged them a little bit. They're still a small ball team. You know, they're not going to hit balls out of ballparks and knock 7 doubles in a game or in a doubleheader. But I thought we controlled them for the most part. You know, they had a couple. They did hit 1 ball out of the ballpark, a pitch that was left up. You know, we made some, to me, terrible mistakes. You know, we had 4 guys reach base from an 0-2 count, you know, and the pitching staff pays for that. So that'll be part of the 100-yard suicides on the football field this week.
Got to learn from it, though, early in the season, right?
Yeah, and again, the one that we gave up, the kid did a nice piece of hitting. He fouled about 4 or 5 balls off and then just laced one down the left field line. And then we had a third baseman who just completely forgot where he was. I don't even know if he knew we were playing the game of baseball at this point. But little mental things catch up to you when you play Malone, and the little things create chaos with that team. So being able to overcome that for the most part was better this year.
So picked up wins in Game 2 of each doubleheader. We'll get in with the first win, Game 2 on Thursday. Talk about Brady's complete game, and then just overall thoughts on the game.
Yeah, Brady's always pretty steady. It's whether or not how tired he is going into the week. Yeah. You know, the running joke with him was when we left Union, his velo was down into the low 70s. So this week he tried to rest it and do the right thing and get it up into the upper 80s again, and he did. And he controlled them pretty well. He was in control. I think very low pitch count, a lot of strikes. He's going to give up his hits. But he does. It's not like he's giving them up in bunches, to where you have other guys that, you know, a walk, a hit batter, an error, and then a single, and now you're down 3-0. Brady is very good at eliminating that kind of stuff. That's what keeps him in ball games.
Yeah, I believe Malone scored early, right, in that game, and then he kind of settled in.
Malone scored all their runs except for 1 with 2 outs. That's another thing that the pitchers will pay the price for. But, yeah, I don't know. Lack of focus with 2 outs seems to be an issue. Yeah. But, you know, Brady is very good at minimizing outcomes, and that's his strong suit.
And talk about the offensive production in that game, being able to push some runs across to pull out the win.
Yeah, it started slow. You know, I think our analogy to them was, you know, if we were a prize fighter in a boxing match, we'd have been knocked out in the first round. Yeah. But then we come back and we decide to win the fight on points after it's too late. So then in day 2, they came out battling. We had the lead early, and then they decided to blow it in game 1. But then in game 2, both days, they came back and they fought, got themselves back in it, and then game 4 was pretty interesting. You know,
a lot of lead changes.
And
big hit from Trevor.
We have one guy that believes he is the game 2 MEC player of the week every week.
Just game 2.
Just game 2.
Okay.
He fails in game 1, then when he
likes to settle in, right? He needs to take his time.
He gets settled in. He has a good game, and he'll come up and he'll say, MEC Game 2 Player of the Week every week, and he has been so far. So we'll see how far it goes.
Yeah, talking about game 4, Trevor Thomas, 5 RBIs, finished that day 4 for 7, I believe. Just talk about what he meant to that team.
And like I said before, Tubes is the kind of kid, he wants the baseball. But when Tubes wants the baseball, he means it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have guys, whether they're sitting in your office saying, Coach, I want the baseball. No, this kid wants the baseball.
Mm-hmm.
He wants the baseball. He wants to put your team on his back. And if he fails, he owns up to it. So there's not many choices when you get to, the 7th or 9th inning and you still have Tubes available. You're going to the mound with him.
Yeah, he not only hit, but came in and pitched that final inning. Just take me through that final inning of scoring the go-ahead runs and then him closing it out. The
final inning was crazy. I mean, we lead off with Sherman, who's probably, we're in a great place. We lead off at 2-3-4. We had already run for our DH in the 4 hole, so Talbert knows that if Sherman gets on, I gave him 1 for you, 1 for us. I'll give him 1 chance to bunt for a hit, and then we got to get this guy to second. We need a run. Well, 12 straight balls, and we got bases loaded, nobody out. And, that includes a freshman in Willie Balgo. And listen, when Willie Balgo's on the bases and he's running at you, he's an intimidating factor. There's a reason he was recruited to play defensive end in football. So, and then Tubes comes through with a big hit. I think Tubes got a good little lecture from Dad over the weekend to where he kind of snapped out of it, where he realized just go swing the bat.
Yeah.
So he comes up with a big double, and then we're going straight to Tubes. And he came out and then he essentially just mowed him down in the 7th. Yeah, I mean, it's fun to have that kind of confidence in somebody, win or lose, that you're going to live or die with that kid.
Yeah, and the momentum that after the hit, to be able to calm yourself down and go out on the mound and, as you said, mow him down.
Yeah, if he could do that, he's great, because I went to the dugout thinking, okay, how can my guys mess this up?
Baseball's a game you don't want to get too high, too low. It's a long game.
Yeah.
But in the late innings.
Well, with the 1-run lead in the 7th, we should have been in no doubles. But Malone's a team that if you put them in no doubles, they're going to hit it in front of you. So we did play the lines in the infield and went to no doubles, but we left the outfield straight up. Kind of shifted on a couple hitters, but we didn't go to no doubles. We were just that way we could take it away in front of us.
Yeah. You talked about leading off that late inning to get the win with walks and stuff like that. Talk about your players not trying to do too much in a situation where, one swing of the bat could tie the game or something, but being able to trust the next guy and take the walk and move on for the team.
Well, we were very fortunate that we were starting that inning off with Jacob Sherman. Mm-hmm. Pretty level-headed kid who he knows the situation.
Yeah.
He's up on the white line. He's as close to the plate as he could get, and he's going to sit there. He's going to make somebody hit him. Mm-hmm. He's going to get on base to the best of his ability. And now we have the tying run on. And then we have our 3, 4, 5 hitters coming up. Right. So we were in the driver's seat there, even being down a run, and we knew it. So that was the confidence that we have in that middle part of our lineup. We offensively, 1 through 9, in years past, once you got to 7, 8, 9, sometimes you would say, okay, just get me through this inning.
Yeah.
Now, 1 through 9, you're thinking anybody can take care of this. I mean, we have guys hitting in the 8, 9 hole that can punch it out of ballparks. So we're looking forward to production from the bottom half, which we've gotten.
Yeah.
Now we just need to get it on a very consistent basis, and then we become very competitive.
Competitive games, pretty much all your games so far this season. But to pull out a win in that type of back and forth battle in Game 4, what's that mean early in the season for the team?
Oh, it helps. I mean, now there's a little bit of confidence. And what was nice is they didn't just win a World Series.
Right.
In years past, to win.
It's kind of taking care of business, right?
Yeah, and that's the motto that they've taken. This is a business trip. This entire season is a business trip. You were picked 5th. You're coming off a 12-38 season. We haven't done anything yet. It's time to prove something. So that's where they're at. That's where they sit. You know, they were pretty good after the wins this weekend, where they realized there's still work to do, and UPJ was next.
Yeah. One more thing on Malone. Their team, I was looking back, researching for my preview. They've scored a run in the first inning pretty much every game this season, and 3 out of 4 this weekend against you guys. Talk about playing a team like that and being able to, you got to kind of, they're coming at you right away.
Oh, absolutely. And they are very good at stealing the base. You know, we defended it. So essentially, if you walk a guy, you're giving them a double. Yeah. And then they'll get the bloop or the bleed, or we'll make an error, and then you're down 1-0. You know, and sometimes to keep it at 1-0, you're fortunate. You know, when you have multiple guys on, you're going to end up down 2 or 3. But we were pretty fortunate with the top half of their order. I mean, at one point, I think the Gingrich kid was on a 10-for-10 streak. He started the year out 0 for 3, and then he went 10 in a row, and just all 10 in a row happened to be against us. So it was tough. We actually walked him. We intentionally walked him in a situation that paid off big for us. Walked him, and then we get a ground ball, 3 unassisted next pitch. So it worked out good. But to contain them in the first inning is tough.
Yeah. And then one more thing on the weekend, actually. Talk about your between-game messages, losing game 1 and setting them up for game 2.
Oh.
If you're able to share.
Not most of it. No, I can't.
But it says a lot about your team to be able to battle back from a game 1 loss and pick up wins.
You get to a point after doing it for so long that, a lot of your in-between game speeches or post-game speeches, you find yourself starting to repeat stuff. And that's when you're in trouble. If it's the same thing, you know you're in trouble. But with these guys, it's been something new. Like the boxing analogy stayed into play the whole weekend, because if you didn't come out and punch somebody in the mouth in the first inning, you were in trouble.
Right.
So they came out the second game, third game, and fourth game, and they battled from the beginning. You had your doubts somewhere in the middle, but they stayed with it. They stayed the course, and that was pretty much it. And we have confidence in them that they can play 7 innings now. So that's been the message all for 2 weeks.
All right, now looking ahead, finally a little closer to home in Cadiz, Ohio, taking on Pitt-Johnstown coming up. What do you know about them and looking forward to this weekend?
Well, we know they hit the ball. In years past, their pitching staff has always given us fits. Looking at scouting reports, printing charts out, their offense might give us a little bit of a fit. So we're gonna get with the pitching staff. We're gonna stick with our game plan, where we're gonna go in on a lot of hitters, and then there's a few now that we'll sneak away. We'll try to get some rollover ground balls that way. And Harrison Central's a beautiful ballpark, but the ball has a tendency to fly. So we're going to try to keep them in the ballpark as much as possible.
You've done a good job of that so far this season.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a pretty veteran pitching staff. I mean, you're talking, Penny and Brady are both seniors. Dobson is a junior. Bryce Winter is a JUCO guy. Ethan Conley is a second-year kid that, at one point, Ethan Conley coming off injury, he threw 14 strikes in a row last weekend. And he's in the upper 80s now. So now he's got confidence. He wants the baseball. So they're smart. The pitching staff is smart. I think the only home runs, Ian Brady gave up one at Union, and I'm not even sure who gave up this one. Yeah. May have been Ian again. So,
offensively, overall thoughts through 8 games?
We're still getting better. It's getting better. We struggled going from first to second, but that's why we're going to hit tonight under the lights. When nobody's around, that way we have full use of the soccer facility. We're going to do a lot of hit and run, a lot of bunting. We couldn't get the guy from first to second, so we're gonna work on that and our situational stuff. I know the power's there.
Yep.
I know the gap to gap, the doubles there. We've hit a fair amount of doubles. Now it's time to start hitting those doubles with 2 outs or guys in scoring position. That and leadoff batters have been a problem for us.
Some of the timely situations.
Yeah, it's like we're playing every inning with 1 out. So it's tough when you can't get the leadoff guy on. So those are some of the mental things that are going to be said to guys. You know, we need a runner. Yes, we're going to stay aggressive at the plate. Yes, we're going to keep swinging the bat. But we have to be smart about it.
All right, well, Saturday and Sunday, right? Cadiz, Ohio.
Yep.
Against Pitt-Johnstown. Start times 1 and 4?
1 and 4 both days. Yep.
All right. That is it for Inside Hilltopper Athletics Baseball Edition. Coach Burkle and the Hilltoppers will be in action Saturday and Sunday against Pitt-Johnstown and Cadiz, Ohio. Good luck, Coach. And thank you for tuning in.
Disasters happen. Pick the team that takes care of them all. Powered by offices in Wheeling, Morgantown, and Pittsburgh, Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration is ready to handle any size emergency at a moment's notice. We have the right people, knowledge, and equipment to respond 24 hours a day.
I'm Danny Irwin. When disaster strikes your home or business, tell your insurance provider you prefer the restoration company the Hilltoppers call Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.